I hope you guys are enjoying your lunch today. Welcome once again to Live with your agent Luz. We're here every Wednesday at noon, sharing with you everything that has to do with real estate. My name is Luz Bies, and I am a realtor here in the Richmond, Virginia area. And today, for our program, we do have a special guest with us. But before I introduce him and kind of get into our program for today, I do want to let you guys know that if you have any questions or any comments or anything that you would like us to cover in this program, feel free to go ahead and share that with us either via comment or you can send a message. And also, some of you heard last week. Following me on my page. Tomorrow, I'll start my show with the Spanish radio station, woo, Ultra Radio 94.1. So if you have any friends, tell them to tune in at 11 o'clock tomorrow a las 11 de la mañana por Ultra Radio. Es mañana. We're going to talk a little bit about real estate there. But again, you're all always welcome to call or message me if you have any questions or anything regarding real estate that you would like to know. So, now to get to our program for today, my friend is here with us today, Terrence Terrence Bardouille. How are you? Are you there? Can you?
Yes, good afternoon, Miss Luce, your agent
Yes,
in the greater
thank
Richmond
you.
area. You're looking fabulous as always.
Well, thank you. You too, you too. I see you're in the kitchen. You are making your lunch.
That it's intentional that way. It's lunchtime. It's around 12 o'clock. So I figure, what's the best way to have a virtual background of a kitchen? So I figure I was gonna eat. I had some orange here, but I'm not gonna eat it. I'll leave it here till after the show. But thank you so much.
I love it. I love it. So Terrence, can you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us. I mean, I already said your name, but tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're going to be talking to us about today.
Sure. Basically, I'm H. Terrence Bardouille. The H is for Havis. I was born in the Caribbean island of Dominica. We call it the nature island of the Caribbean. I think if you like ecotourism, Dominica is where you should go. So Google that, the Commonwealth of Dominica. But I moved to Boston, Massachusetts in the 70s. So I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. For the past 37 years, I've been in financial services, first as a banker with Bank of America, and then I was doing wholesaling of annuities for large companies like Sun Life of Canada, Genwood Financial right here in Richmond, Virginia, and Vantage Securities. And now I've branched out. I've worked for other companies like, Combine Insurance and Bankers Life. But now with American Classic Agency out of Jacksonville, Florida, and basically at Bardouille Financial Services, I am in partnership with American Classic Agency. And what we do is we just do three things. Only three things we do. And the three things are income protection, debt elimination, and legacy creation. I didn't say debt consolidation, I said debt elimination. And what that means is we help families like yours, Luce, and every other family in Middle America to eliminate their debt while they create generational wealth tax free. So people who have mortgages, student loans, credit cards, car loans, equity line of credits, consumer loans, we teach them how to maximize um, their retirement by having tax free, or we call tax favored income tax free. That's what I do in a nutshell.
Nice, nice. Thank you for sharing that with us. Can you hear me? Okay.
We hear you perfectly.
Okay. Great. Great. All right. So I know you shared this. You have your own life too, and you shared this month is Financial Literacy Month. So, when I think about that, the first thing I know you were going to talk a little bit about what you do. How, debt elimination and all that. I'm gonna let you kind of run with that in a minute. Um, but what does financial literacy mean to you? Like, what's the most important thing about financial literacy? If you can
Okay, that's a
understand those
great
things.
question. As a real estate agent, I'm going to start with something that you might be very familiar with. For example, your clients need to buy a home, right? Buying a home, selling a home, if they want to do rental property investments, things like that. Well, one of the first things you need is good credit, right? You can't have fair credit or jacked up credit because you're not going to get the raise that you need. So I think April being Financial Literacy Month is an awesome time to tell people during the pandemic, by the way, most people don't know this. Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax every 7 days will give you a free copy of your credit report to make sure there's no shenanigans going on. For example, there's no fraud. So you can check it every 7 days if you want to. So I believe people should start working on their credits so that they'll be able to get the loans that they need to buy the homes that they want in the neighborhoods that they want. And yes, as a realtor, you got to go through the qualifying process for them. I don't know anything about that, but I believe that April being Financial Literacy Month is a great time for people to get their credit right. And the higher your credit, they say credit is queen, right, or king. Well, cash is king too, but you know what? Most people can't afford to buy a home cash. So you need a lender, and that's why I think for Financial Literacy Month, getting your credit right is the first place you should start. And then after you get it right, and while you're getting it right, you have to be saving as well. Because even though you tithe at your church and you return a great offering, you also have to take care of the future you. Only the current you can take care of the future you. So by the way you do that is by saving, making sure you have great credit so that you'll be able to attain the things that you want, a car, a home, even a vacation home, a credit card for emergencies or for different things that you do. But you have to make sure that you stabilize that and get your credit right. So I think for Financial Literacy Month, getting your credit right is the first thing you need to do in April. And then we can move from there.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. I think I probably agree on that. And as he was talking about cash and credit, there for some buyers and just like little what is it public service announcements, if there is a program out there called Buyers Accepted that does help with the buyer with actually providing cash so that the buyer can actually give a cash offer. That was just a little announcements right in the middle. But back to Terrence. Okay. Um, so debt, we're gonna no income. Which is the first one? Income
Income protection.
protection. All right. So let's start with that one. How do
Okay, I'll
you
give you an
just
example.
give me an example of income protection and how you help with that?
Okay, I think in any portfolio, having a solid foundation starts with protecting the foundation. So, for example, income protection is this: everybody works, whether you're an entrepreneur like myself and like you are, Luz, or someone has a job working for the city of Richmond, the state of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the VA, or whatever. You get an income, either weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, right? Now, the only person who can take care of you is you. So let's say something happens to you. What if you become disabled? What if you can't work for a while? What if you become a quadriplegic? You have children, you have a mortgage, you have a condo, credit cards, you got student loans. How are you going to pay for those things? Now, you might say, well, I can go for a disability to the government. Well, that thing takes 24 months and they go through the ringer. They run you through the ringer. And for people who've had disabilities, they know how hard it is for that to get that. So, what we say to people is make sure you protect your income. And the way you protect your income is having disability protection, a waiver of premium protection. You're like, what's that? And that's some of the things I get deeper with clients. And they don't realize that when you protect your income, you're protecting your future, you're protecting your family, you're protecting your retirement, and you're protecting yourself. Because if you can't fund your retirement properly, yeah, yeah, you may have Social Security, but why do you go to Walmart and you see all these greeters? You think they're there because they want to spend some time at Walmart? They need something to supplement their retirement because they didn't plan right. Some of them did not know right. Because if you want to volunteer, you can volunteer at your kid's school. You can volunteer at your, the library or daycare. But they go to Walmart because they need to work because some people didn't plan right. So I think that protecting your income protection is key because if you can't work or whether you have a critical illness, a critical injury, chronic illness, chronic injury, or if you're terminally ill, you still got bills. Who's going to pay it? So that way, what I do, I protect that for you. And I believe every family should have $1 million legacy as well. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But protecting your income is key.
Yeah, and I could totally see that, how, that is very important. Um, Debt elimination. So first, obviously you want to protect your income, what's coming in, and making sure that that is good. And then now you have debt. Like we said, when you buy a house, that's an asset, but it's also a debt. So how do you talk to us a little bit about that part that you do, the debt
Sure, I would love
elimination? How
to.
do you help? How do you help with debt elimination? And there's a lot of people out there. Do you have like a, what do you call those? The credit repair
Repair
and
or
um,
consolidation, those kind of people.
consolidation and all of that stuff. So what strategies do you have for debt elimination?
Okay. One of the first things I always tell people is simply this. Now, I on my business card says integrity and service is my commitment to you. Now, what I do is I help middle American families identify and resolve critical financial matters that they have not addressed and of which they may not even be aware. I'll give you an example. Luce, you are a real estate agent. You sell homes. I just saw the other day, you had a young couple who bought a home. Well, that's good. They were in their 20s. I applaud them. But they're going to be in debt for like 30 years, right? They may have a car note. They look young. They may have um, student loans. They may have credit card debt. Now, there's good debt and bad debt, by the way. A mortgage is always a good debt, right? Because you need a
Mm-hmm.
home. A car can be a good debt as well because you need a car to get to and from your place of employment. But if you're buying luxury cars and you're not a collector like Jay Leno, I mean, you might be acquiring debt that you don't need. But it's not my job to tell people what's important to them. It's my job to show them how to eliminate the debt. So what I do is I find out monies that they're spending unnecessarily and unknowingly. And what I do is I redirect those inefficient dollars into a program that will actually get them out of debt in 9 years or less. 9 years or less without spending any additional income that they're spending right now. So what I do, I don't consolidate debt, I eliminate debt. And like I said to you, it's mortgages, student loans, credit cards, equity line of credits, car loans, and consumer loans. I don't care what kind of debt you have. It could be the debt could be in this country or in a different country. I can show you how to eliminate that debt in 9 years or less while creating generational wealth on a tax favored basis. Tax favored just simply means you don't have to pay taxes on it. You're like, how can that be done? Well, what I tell people is you can contact me by calling me at 434
We're
five
not there
three
yet.
five
We're not there
six
yet.
zero nine nine, and I will explain that to them. So that's what I actually do. So you may say, how do you do it? Well, all I ask for is that an hour of their time to show them, and it doesn't cost them anything to have an hour of their time.
We're, we're not there yet. You're getting
I
ahead.
know, I know we are, but you know me, Luz.
You're not there yet. You just hold off on that one, Terrence.
Hold
Just
up
hold
on that.
off.
Hold up on that.
Hold up. Hold up.
Wait a
Wait a
minute.
minute. Okay. So the elimination in 9 years or less. That sounds like a pretty sweet deal. Um,
Yes.
so now you briefly touched on it. So I'm gonna let you run with it now. The legacy part, how to build wealth and build a legacy. I think unfortunately with with the more deaths that we've seen between 2021 and now 2022, um, more and more people are thinking about their legacy, and think you think a little bit more about death more now than obviously what you thought before. I know I do. You know what I mean? And I often do think, so when I do die, if if still the Lord permits me to sleep before His coming, um, what would be my legacy, or building not only that but also wealth. Making sure that my husband and my kids are taken care of. You know, that they're not in debt. If something happens to me. I mean, these are things that I think in the past few years, more people didn't really want to think about it, but in these past 2 years, they've been more out in the forefront as far as things that, we do kind of have to think about now. We already knew, that tomorrow's not promised to anyone, but now more than ever, I think that reality has hit home for many. I think not only as a nation, but as into in the whole world as well. So tell us a little bit about that that you're talking about how to build that legacy and that wealth to make sure that when that time comes, you're not leaving somebody behind hanging.
Okay. Thank you. I will tell you this. Most people don't understand the way the wealthy build uh, their legacies. Now, remember, Luz, one thing we all are going to do one day is die. All of us. Now, I'm not here to scare anyone to be morbid, but what I'm saying here is simply this. The wealthy people understand 7702. You're like, what's 7702? And I'm not going to get into that right now. But 7702, basically what it is, the IRS has created a code so that you can actually build wealth and legacy tax free. Now, check this out. You are an entrepreneur. You have a husband and you have 3 kids. God forbid something happens to you. Your family still has to, yeah, they're going to mourn. I'll mourn. I'll cry too. I'll be at the funeral. But what I'm saying here as well, you know, but I can't afford to take care of your family. That's not my responsibility. That was your responsibility. Just like you're not responsible for my family. So what I tell families is simply this.
Come on, Terrence, you're not listening to
Everybody
me.
heard of Walt Disney. He used this concept. Everybody heard of Ray Kroc. You're like, who's Ray Kroc? Well, he started McDonald's. He used this concept. J.C. Penney used this concept. Doris Christopher, the pampered chef, used this concept. And what it does is it's creating a legacy basically means, God forbid something happens to you, your family and your loved ones will get a legacy tax free. Think about it. My father died the year before last, right? And years ago in Boston, like in the late 70s, early 80s, he worked at General Dynamics, right? And he didn't work there long, but he had a benefit from there. And the Social Security Administration contacted um, General Dynamics, who found my sister, and we had to all file a claim and we got a little something. But the point I want to make is simply this. I believe in minority companies, communities. I don't care if you're African American, Latino, Latina, if you are Asian or whatever. In any community, but especially minority communities, you should concentrate on keeping a $1 million legacy. And you're like, what's that? Well, it's making sure that if something happens to you, your house is paid for, your children's college are taken care of, if they want to start a business, they can do that. And what happens in most of these communities, Luz, when they die, they leave a bunch of hats, shoes, and clothes that nobody wants. Nobody wants the hat, the shoes, and the clothes. People want something that they can use. You're gonna cry, you're gonna mourn, but you want to leave a legacy that can carry your generations, and you have to teach that from generation to generation. The Rockefellers did it, the Rothschilds, the Kennedys. You may hate Trump or love Trump, they do it. Biden does it. Obama does it. I don't care who you like or don't like. The point about it is having a legacy for your family, tax free, is second to none. And that's what I advocate. That's what I champion. I've done it. God forbid, if I don't make it home tonight, after I go on the road to see a couple of clients today, there's over $1 million in legacy that my family will receive. And I've put that in place because I believe, I love them, I trust them, they will do the right thing, and I wanted to teach that to their children and their grandchildren. But what does the Bible say in Proverbs? A wise man leaves a legacy for his children's children, not your children, Luz, your grandchildren, your children's children. And the great Billie Holiday said this in a song, the blues singer: Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child who has his own. That's a legacy creation.
Nice. All right. So now, Terrence, if they want more information, if our viewers want more information about uh, income protection, how they can protect their income, how they can eliminate their income and create wealth and a legacy, how do they contact you?
Wow, I know I jumped the gun early and I apologize. I was listening.
Now is the
That
time.
right there,
Go right
you
ahead.
can email me at Bardouille Financial Services at gmail.com, or you can call me at 434-535-6099. I even tell people my personal cell phone. If you're serious, call my personal cell phone. I don't mind giving it out. It's 864-607-1361. 864-607-1361. But my office number is 434-535-6099. And all you do, you just say loose. You send me a text and say loose. That means your agent loose. That's where you saw me. What I will do is I'll schedule a virtual with you. If you want to meet in person, I will come with my mask. I'm fully vaccinated, but I tell people I'm more than happy to help them. But the thing about it is nowadays a lot of the stuff is being done virtually. But if you want to do it in person, we certainly can. And remember, no matter what you do, make sure you're protecting your income, you're eliminating debt, and you can have a great legacy for your children and your children's children. Because the Bible tells us that. Voila.
Voila. Why, thank you, Terrence, for joining us today. I really appreciate you. Thank you all for joining us as well. And for those who will be joining us later, watching this after, hope you guys had a great lunch. And we will see you here next Wednesday, once again at noon, every Wednesday, live with your agent Luz here at noon. We are always featuring guests and putting out very important information regarding real estate and real estate here in the Richmond area. Soon to come market updates on every week. So you want to make sure that you share this with your friends, with your family, so then they also stay up to date. And as always, if you have any questions or are looking in the Richmond area for a home, you can contact me at 804-964-4458. You can also find me at youragentloose.com. And also, you can find me on Facebook as Your Agent Loose on Facebook and on YouTube. Your Agent Loose on YouTube, on Tu Agente Luz on YouTube as well, for my Spanish channel. So there's many different ways you can make sure you stay in contact. So I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. And I will see you guys next week. Take it easy. God bless. Bye.